Audio check, audio check. Audio. Oh, hooray. Thank God for that. Right, okay, hello everybody. You can see here pictured we've got Carlos Corberan. And he's the front runner at the moment. Excuse me a moment, I'll just get that background noise off. Carlos Corberan is the bookie's favourite. We'll just go. Pause that. Carlos Corberan is the bookie's favourite. Apparently, he's between 2 and 3 to 1, depending on where you do your shopping. And it seems that he's number 1 on the hit list. Now, this guy has got a history with the club. Worked under Bielsa for 3 years, apparently between 2017 and 2020, before leaving. And he moved on to other pastures to try and get more experience. And it sounds like he's doing the business for, I think, West Brom at the moment. I might be right in saying that. Maybe I'm incorrect in saying that. Again, if I do say something that you disagree with, shove it in the comments box, and I'll happily stand corrected. But at this moment in time, he is the number 1 man. But what is going on at Elland Road until between now and then? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that in today's stream. The club, honestly, it's like some sort of personal pet project, isn't it? I'm not happy with this, so I'm just going to change it. I said yesterday I'm not sure that sacking Jesse was the right move. He should have just let him play his style, his game against Man United. But then if he goes out and miraculously gets us 6 points against Man United, it's going to be harder for us to get rid of him, isn't it? Very unlikely. The Man United faithful there, they're obviously really pleased that we're having some misfortunes again at Elland Road. Our neighbours from over the Pennines, the rivalry will never go away, will it? It'll never go away. We'll never have any love for them. They'll never have any love for us. It always makes for some good banter down the pub. Let's get straight into it tonight. And I've been having a little look around, and honestly, I cannot believe the stuff that they're getting away with down at Elland Road at the moment. They're Viktor and Rads. It's one thing signing players and saying that you're backing the manager, but I was reading some of the forums today, excuse me, because I've done a lot of singing and storytelling today. Just a minute. And one of the points of view is that they were going to get rid of Marsh a few weeks ago. Or this was the theory. This is one of the conspiracies going around. It would make sense. But they needed to keep Marsh on, A, to keep the investors happy. B, having Marsh during the transfer window would mean that the target players were more likely to sign for us at Elland Road and then not. Trying to sign a player when you've got a management crisis going on is not a really great idea, is it? Players are probably going to look at that and think, nah, I'm not going to play for Leeds United because they don't have a manager. B, the manager that they fired, I don't think I'd fit in his system, and I don't think that club's the right club for me. So keeping Marsh on until the transfer window's over, making sure that we get 3 or 4 of those target players in, is the only reason why they've kept Marsh on, as long as what they have done. A lot of people are going around saying, I don't understand why we didn't get rid of him weeks ago. Well, that would be a very, very good reason, probable cause, I would say, that you keep your manager on. If the board of directors or Viktor decides that he agrees with Marsh's targets, and it makes you wonder what's going on with transfer policy down at Elland Road. Who's actually running the players in, players out? Because it seems to me that the manager has, and I think Jesse said this and he alluded to it, that he has very little involvement in transfers, and in the past has refused to speak about transfers when questioned. So is it just Viktor's pet project? You know, is Viktor the real manager of the team? Is he the real club manager? And a few Leeds fans absolutely despise him. I mean, I don't despise him. I think he's doing a great job. But I think if he's got that much influence over players in and out, it's something that has to be looked at as an area of concern, that the manager no longer seems to be the manager down at Elland Road might not seem to have as much influence over players in and out as perhaps they have done in the past, and it's just a case of filling Viktor's ego. And this is some of the accusations that I've seen going around, which makes sense. It adds up, and it probably gives a bit of sense of reason to a lot of doubters out there, a lot of fans who are disillusioned with what's going on down at Elland Road. Some fans can see straight through it, some can't. Some just don't believe it. I honestly, I don't know what to make of it. Back in the day, it used to be the manager would be right, here's the shopping list, go out and get what you can, get on with it. And it seems to me that shopping list is no longer drawn up by the manager, it's drawn up by Viktor, cleared with the manager, right, okay, this is what we're going to go for. You've worked with these players before, Jesse. What do you think? Hey, that's a really good idea. You know, I'm really positive they're going to fit in my system. They're going to be great in moments, in transitions, and la-di-da-di-da-di-da. All of that waffle. And they've ended up, Leeds United, we've got a few players in. We've still got a lot out on loan. But one of the unusual things is it seems that most of the squad is fit. Obviously, Rodrigo, Stuart Dallas, and a couple of other players by the sound of it due to come back. For those who don't know or are not in the know, the club released this today. And it's honestly, you couldn't make it up. I'm reading this, I'm thinking, this is just, I don't know what they're thinking about. I really don't. And it's we don't have one manager, we don't have two, we now have three managers taking charge of the Manchester United fixture that's just over 24 hours away. 24 hours since we sacked Marsh. I'm still baffled by it, but you know, they've decided that they need to act quick. They need to get him out and get somebody in as quickly as possible. And are we going to have a bit of a merry-go-round for the next couple of years? You know, the February clear out of the manager who's not performing. Is that what's coming? That's if we manage to stay in the Premier League. If we go down, that's definitely what's going to happen, isn't it? Now look, I'm going to try and zoom in here and get those ads out of the way. I'll read this to you in case you're on a mobile device. Update following departure. Following the announcement of the departure of the head coach Jesse Marsh earlier today, Leeds United can this has been released yesterday, hasn't it? So Leeds United can confirm that Michael Skubala, Paco Gallardo and Chris Armas will take training at Thorpe Arch on Tuesday. Well, I hope these three are singing from the same song sheet, or at least they've got some specialisations in particularly the areas of defending when we're going up against a resurgent Manchester United. And we'll be in the dugout for Wednesday, so all three of them will be in the dugout for Wednesday's Premier League fixture against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Skubala, who previously held a number of roles at the FA. I mean, I don't know how that qualifies him, but I mean, perhaps he's been somewhere near the England setup. wherever it is. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Hopefully he's had something there. He was appointed as the club's under-21 head coach last summer. All right, so then we have development coach Gallardo. Has enjoyed a successful playing career in Spain and served as an assistant at La Liga side Sevilla, prior to joining the Whites. Now here's the American connections. They're not going to be going away anytime soon, and a lot of people moaning. We'll talk about that in a minute. Former MLS midfielder Armas has joined the backroom staff at Leeds United in January, following spells at New York Red Bulls, Toronto FC, and Manchester United. So hopefully this guy's got a bit of inside knowledge about what Ten Hag's going to do. Hopefully he's got good idea about their lineup, their setup, their methods. Given that they have got a number of changes to make to their starting 11. This is the next bit. Skubala will also be taking on the club's media duties starting on Tuesday. With Tuesday's pre-match press conference. Try saying that after 10 pints. Pre-match press conference. So there you have it, folks. That's what is going on. Of course, we know about Jesse. We're not too bothered about the rest of that waffle. But what I am interested in is what does this chap have to say about what's going on? What have the journalists asked him? So today we're going to do a bit of a blind reaction. I haven't seen the press conference yet. I don't know if you have. If you have, good for you. If you haven't, here we go. Hopefully we're in for a bit of a treat. And we're going to talk a little bit about, hopefully do a bit of play and pause. No. No. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just making sure that this stream's going out on the right place because I've got a number of different channels and I'm thinking, is this going out on the right stream? Is it going out to the right place? I'm hoping that it's going up to my Leeds United channel. If it isn't, I'm gonna have to start all this all over again. So apologies for that. Yeah, we're on the right spot. That's good news. So yeah, let's have a look. Between 2, 3 to 1, depending on where you're doing shopping. And it seems that a mystery name has been thrown up as well. We'll talk about that as we go along in tonight's stream. I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope that you find it interesting. And of course, if you have any questions, shove them in the comments box. I can't always see who's watching, how many people are watching, so I don't know if you're there or not, and if you are there, it's great if you say hi. Anyway, let's get cracking. We're going to have a little look at this press conference, and we have a live, it's a watch-along thing. It has actually completed as this press conference. It completed some time ago, just over, I think about an hour and a half ago. And I was scrambling to get online. And yeah, here we are. So let's get cracking and we'll have a look and see what Skubala, is it Mr. Skubala, has to say about the goings-on at Elland Road. Now look, if you want to watch this yourself, I'll put a link in the description. Credit Leeds United, of course, on this one. And it starts at about 2 minutes 2 seconds. So there you go. That's saved you 2 minutes 2 seconds of your life if you want to watch that yourself. Right, here we go.
You okay? How are you doing?
Thanks, Mike.
You okay, Adam?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Good. Get this rolling.
Hiya, you okay?
So let's get on and see what they've got to do. The audio's always a bit iffy at Ellen Road.
Hi Michael, you okay?
Yeah, how you doing, Tim? You okay?
Yeah, good. Can you talk to us then about how the last 24 hours have played out for you? Has it all been a little bit of a whirlwind, and what's the plan now moving forward as you prepare to face Manchester United?
Yeah, sure. Last 24 hours yesterday, Victor, Angus, the board came up to Ellen Road to meet Jesse, and obviously you know what's gone on with Jesse, and it was a discussion that had to take place. But then after that, they pulled me and a few other staff members in to discuss how we get through this interim period in the short term with Manchester United away in a few hours' time or a day's time. So had meetings, and we pulled a plan together that we thought collectively was the best thing to do moving forward at the moment.
I mean, this is what he says. It's that he spoke to Kinnear and Orta and all the rest of it after Jesse had been, had his marching orders. I'm not so sure I believe that to be true. I think if you're going to prepare to sack a manager, you're going to have the replacements already lined up that, calling these guys in immediately after or as soon as they're available after that Forest result, and discussing the plan going forward. I believe that it doesn't ring true what he's just said there. I wouldn't do it that way, but I mean, if that's the way they're operating at Elland Road, it's up to them, isn't it? And I don't know if it's ethical, right, or justifiable what's gone on there. But anyway, let's get on and see what he has to say. So it says he's a bit of a whirlwind. We could only take the man at his word, and quite often I sometimes think managers, coaches, temporary coaches, covering, whatever you want to call them, are they there under a bit of duress? Right, okay, we think that they're going to ask you this, and if that's what they ask you, here's how we want you to respond. So these guys aren't. It's not their fault. It's that they're having to act on the orders from the higher ups.
There will be 3 of you in the dugout at Old Trafford. So, in practical terms, how will that work? Who will pick the team?
Yeah, it's a collective approach. We pick the team together. I think any staff team in the modern way picks the team together, and I'm in here doing the press, but we're all behind the scenes working really hard to put a team that we think is really competitive on the pitch to have a good go at Manchester United.
So Manchester United tomorrow night. Is that quite a daunting prospect, and is there much that you can change?
I'm wondering, why don't they just go upstairs and say, "Tell you what, Victor, you go pick the team, because you're in charge of the bloody transfers. Pick the team as well while you're at it, or Angus. You guys seem to have a better idea about football." It's so frustrating, isn't it? Anyway, here we go.
In such a short space of time.
I would say exciting prospect. It's Manchester United, and I think the players, obviously it's changed for players. They're professional players. I don't think any of us need to get any players for Manchester United at Old Trafford, but I think it's more of an exciting prospect, and we'll just do the best job we can do, really. Not daunting, but exciting, I would say.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Adam. You okay?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Pretty mad 24 hours, I'm sure, for you. Michael, firstly, can you just tell us a bit about the other 2? We know a bit about you because we dealt with the 21s, but Paco Gallardo, and we don't know much about Chris Armas so far. So who's doing what, basically, and what are they about?
Yeah, so Chris has worked with Jesse and come in a couple of weeks ago. He's still new to the team. He's still new to getting to know the squad, but he's been around the Premier League before with Manchester United as well. So Chris is in there with the staff team, and Paco Gallardo was working with me with the under-21s as a development coach, and his experience with in Spain and Serie B team. So we've got a good staff team. We've got Marcus as a goalkeeping coach as well. So it will form as any other technical staff team will work, and we're looking positive.
Tactically, how do you approach this? Do you sort of continue with what Jesse was doing, or have you very much, between the 3 of you, got your own idea of how to set up tomorrow?
This is going to be a really interesting answer because the fans have been crying out, and I was watching a detailed video, and I'm going to mention the guy's name in a few moments, and it was if you give me a few moments. So what he did is he got a little whiteboard out and the magnetic markers, and he went on and talked a lot about Jesse Marsh's masterclass. And if you haven't seen that video, it's called Leeds Lately. Now, obviously, it's outdated. It's a 20-minute video talking about where we're going wrong, what can we do to put it right, and Jesse Marsh's philosophies in a little bit more detail than perhaps Jesse would like us to know about. But based on purely what he's seen on the TV or in the stadium or whatever. So that's Leeds Lately. And I'll put you a link in the chat box when I just get a moment to do that, if it can. You know, once upon a time it was very easy to copy a link, wasn't it? But not anymore, it isn't. Just give me a second while it's this one here. If you get yourself over there, have a good watch of that. I'm going to finish watching up later on about that one. Stand by, can you hear me now? This. Audio check, audio check, audio check. Hello, hello, hello. The audio came back then. Are you there? What is this fucking software doing? I want you just to get back on that. Hello? Hello, audio check. Hello, audio check. Oh, this is a nightmare. I'm gonna have to get rid of this shit. Audio check, audio check. The audio came back then, are you there? Right. I'm hoping that's working. So let's try and continue what's going on. What is this fucking software doing? I want you just to get back on that. Hello? Yeah, alright. Hello, audio check. Right, we're back. It sounds like we're back, hopefully. Apologies if you're joining. We're having some audio issues. It seems that the software is... It's either the software that we're using or the or Windows or something's changing the audio drivers or something. It's a bit of a pain. Audio check. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, but we can't. Back to the press conference. As I was saying, this is going to be a really interesting answer. He's talking about the tactics. Are we going to continue using Jesse Marsch tactics? He's about to answer. The audio came back then. Are you there? Yeah, thank Christ for that. So right, well, I'm gonna have to put that over there. But anyway, it is. I'm hoping that we're gonna do something a little bit different against Manchester United. I'm hoping that the errors in our ways with the Jesse Pressy is those problems have been identified, corrected, and that the players are drilled on it at Thorpe Arch. But it seems to me that getting a team ready with a couple of days notice or less, it's a day and a half, isn't it, isn't really ideal preparation when you're going into a team that is resurgent in the Premier League, isn't it? It's not good preparation, far from great preparation. And I'm just going to check that audio again. So let's try and continue. Yeah, we'll continue what's going on there. Right. Okay, here we go. So we're picking up with the coach. He's now about to talk to Gallardo, I think it is his name, is it? Let's have a look. Skabala is going to now go on and talk a little bit about The tactics that are coming up. This is a short presser. Usually they're more like 30 minutes, but this one's 14. Well, actually, take 2 minutes out for the 2-minute intro. It's more like 12. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I think it's important that we can't. We've got 24 hours, so we've got one session this afternoon that we've prepared with the players. So some things will have to be the same because there's no point throwing the baby out the bathwater in terms of changes. But I think a few little tweaks in maybe how we want to play and maybe a few differences you might see. But fundamentally, we need to make sure that the players understand the match plan and the game plan that we want to deliver.
Do you feel there's a necessity to be on the front foot, knowing what the nature of this game is with regards to Leeds fans and Manchester United?
I don't think we can be passive, if that's the other answer. I don't think we can be passive but I think we also need to be pragmatic in where we're playing at Old Trafford against a really informed team.
What about who's fit and who isn't? Who have you got to select from, Michael?
So the usual sort of longer term injuries, I think you know about, and that's not changed. We've got a few bumps and bruises, but I don't really want to give that away at the minute till I know how we're looking after training.
And Michael, this is a temporary situation. At no point have they said to you, look, if this goes okay.
This is an interesting point. When they've done the press conference, the training session, according to what he says, hasn't been conducted, which I find quite strange. I mean, this has been done at some point in the afternoon. With most teams, I think that get them in, haul them in at early morning, and say, right, it's going to be an extra long training session. We're going to have the physical work, the fitness work, etc., and then we're going to sit down, have a quick briefing and a meeting, and have each individual unit of the team in for discussion about tactics, what we want you to be doing, so that you're all absolutely clear about how we're going to deal with Manchester United and what are we going to do to limit this score. Because make no mistake, I'm like a lot of other Leeds fans. I'm pretty sure that we're going to get absolutely pumped by United down at Old Trafford. Especially given the situation, it must be all playing on the players' minds what's gone on, especially the new recruits. Believing that they're going to be working under Jesse Marsh, and suddenly they get this contract signed, and oh no, you're not going to be working on. Oh, you're going to work under Jesse Marsh, but not for very long. Bit of a naughty tactic if that's what they've done. If that's what's gone through Rad's and Orta's mind and Angus. Interesting points.
You might be in the fray.
No, this is a temporary situation. I'm happy to support the club and look after the club in this moment of time while they work really hard to find a new head coach, and I'll go back to my old role once this is done. I'll just do the best job I can do.
Thanks.
Hi Michael, Damien from PLP. Just talk a little bit more about the time frame ahead. I mean, it's been a whirlwind clearly for you. I suppose personally, what's it been like?
I've been in a few jobs where changes happen quick, and I've been around clubs, and in my other roles I've seen change quite a lot. So I think in these moments it's about being calm, it's about being positive. It's been busy, I won't lie to you, it's been really busy. Last night was really busy, this morning was really busy, but it's exciting, and I think as coaches we enjoy challenges, and this is a good challenge for the players and for myself and for the technical team.
And have the owners given you any idea of what the time frame is, the schedule is for the weeks ahead?
No,
I don't expect him to answer some of these questions, and I quite honestly expect him to dodge this bullet. As I said, welcome if you're joining. I haven't seen the press conference, so it's a bit of blind reaction. Here we go. I've
left that with them. I think they're working really hard behind the scenes to come up with a solution, and they're really positive with that, but that's with them. I've got enough to do with the game. Yeah, he's not going to answer that question, in all honesty, if we think about it. It's nothing really to do with him. The previous question, talking about would he fancy the role on a permanent basis, kind of gives you a clue that he's quite happy doing what he's doing. He's not interested in taking on the first team duties. So you've got to expect that there's going to be questions here that this poor chap is not going to be in any kind of position to answer, and if he answers them in an incorrect way, he's going to put himself in jeopardy of being next
for the Kinnear's chopping block, I think, Skabala. So here we go. Let's continue.
Mark from TalkSport.
Hiya, man.
Hiya. What would you say the mood of the squad is like at the moment, given what's happened over the last 24, 48 hours?
Jesse was a good guy, and the team was working hard for Jesse. But they're used to change as professional football, and they're professional football athletes. And I think the mood is, I wouldn't say down, but the mood is okay. The mood is about, we've got to focus on Manchester United, we've got to be positive, and we've got to go after 3 points. Yeah.
It's a tough environment you go. I think Manchester United have won the last 13 at Old Trafford, so it's not going to be easy, is it?
I don't think anybody thinks it's going to be easy, but as long as we're competitive and we put a good show on and we put a good team on the pitch, that's the most we can ask for. And if we can do something and nick something, that'll be good.
Patrick Bamford coming for some criticism of his comments after the game at Nottingham Forest at the weekend. What do you make of his comments?
That was an interesting one. If we can nick something against Old Trafford, so I'm just wondering, has he just given it? Has he let the cat out of the bag there that he's going to sit him tight, have us parking the bus and doing whatever it takes to stop Manchester United from absolutely destroying us, demolishing us, and trying to get up the other end in the last 5 minutes and nick a goal? I'd be absolutely delighted if that was the case. Given our recent defensive record, the way that Everton are behind us in the relegation zone at the moment, if we go to Old Trafford and we concede more than 4 goals, we drop a place into the relegation zone. Everton leapfrog us, and they don't even have to play a game.
I think Pat was just being open about what he thought about the situation at the time and how he was playing the game, and thought he was a little bit isolated in that sense, but I don't think it was. I think it came from the heart. But yeah.
Joe? Hi, Michael.
Hi, Joe.
In terms of what you're saying, you don't want to be passive and you want to be pragmatic at times tomorrow. What does that look like tactically?
So we'll set up a team that is competitive without the ball, and we'll try and be aggressive without the ball, and we'll set up a team that we think we can exploit their weaknesses. No doubt they'll do the same with us as well.
You're obviously saying that some elements will have to remain the same because of such a quick turnaround. Which sort of elements are you looking at maybe to tweak?
I think we've been really good without the ball. I think we've been, if you look at our goal differences, it's been good. So I think we've been good without the ball. We've been, really on the front foot and aggressive. And I think that's a positive thing that we can't change at the minute. Maybe a few tweaks here and there with how the team structure is, and maybe with the ball, that's what we're looking into.
Picking up on that, our goal differences, I think it's -7 or -8. Correct me there if I'm wrong. Everton are -12. Under Bielsa, it was a lot heavier than that by the time he'd bitten the bullet at Elland Road, and I know that I'm quite sure that in his heart of hearts he's thinking, well, I can't really answer this question because the goal difference is still in negative territory. It's not that we're conceding a lot; it's it's not being balanced by scored goals. We're not scoring enough, and that's been our problem. Obviously, we're not winning games, which is all tied in and linked to that when it comes to the mathematics side of it in the league. An interesting answer, but it just makes me wonder when he's talked a bit about that Patrick Bamford. Has Bamford been a little bit upset with how he's been played under Jesse, or in the last couple of games, or has he been a little bit upset by what he's seen on the pitch and Jesse's tactics? Is there something there that Bamford isn't or hasn't been happy with? And there was a leaked report came out that said a couple of the senior players weren't happy with Jesse Marsh, and they wanted him out of the club. To which everybody publicly rallied round him and denied that was the case. So it just makes you wonder if there was a question mark over a couple of the senior players, the players who have been there a little while. whether or not there was a little bit of dissent, a little bit of disbelief, and a little bit of negativity towards Jesse Marsh that ultimately helped the board reach such a decision so swiftly, I think, after that Forest game.
Hi, Michael. Have you had a chance to speak to Jesse since the decision? Has he addressed the staff before he left?
I saw Jesse before he left, and he spoke to all the staff before he left. Yeah.
Can you shed any light on what was said?
I think that's personal terms. It was good. It was nothing. Managers go through these situations, but no, it was good.
And you mentioned the mood in the camp there. I imagine you've had conversations with Liam and Luke, the senior players in the group. What feedback are they giving you off the back of this decision?
Let's get ready for Manchester United. Let's get ready for Manchester United. Let's train well. Let's do the best job we can do.
Have you had any indication yet, or has it been suggested to you that you might have Sunday's game as well, given that it's too quickly back to back?
I'm just getting through this first game with Manchester United in terms of time. Whatever happens between tomorrow and Sunday is up to the board. Thank you.
Michael, I'm led to believe you're quite friendly with Gareth Southgate.
I worked for Southgate. I know. Yeah.
Is he someone you could ring if you wanted to sort of ask him for advice on how to deal with a big occasion like what tomorrow will be?
Yeah, I've had loads of good messages. From lots of friends that said if you want some advice in this situation, I'm happy for that. So I think along my journey of the last 25 years of coaching, I've made some good allies and good friends along the way. So I don't think that's I've got lots of support network around me to.
But is Gareth someone you would be tempted to ring?
No, I don't think I'll ring Gav. He's busy enough.
When were you last at Old Trafford? Can you remember the last time you went?
I went to watch the Under-18s Youth Cup final between Nottingham Forest and Man United, which was a great game.
Well, it'll be slightly different atmosphere.
It was slightly different. It was 68,000 there, so it was busy as well. But
Can I just ask you, were you surprised? I know football at this level is quite fickle, but were you surprised Jesse got sacked? Did you expect to be given more time to try and turn results around?
I think the situation is very hard for the club and for Jesse. Jesse did a great job. He tried to build a team and a way of playing it, and ultimately, the board decided that we didn't think it was getting enough points, and it's a points-based industry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask how Chris could help, given he was at Manchester United very recently? How big an influence can he be this week?
Yeah, sure. We've got Chris and Ewan Sharp behind the scenes who work for Manchester United, so they've got a lot of insight into how it was and the players there and their attributes and their profiles. Obviously, the staff team has changed there recently, so their manager will play in a different way. But we've got a good insight into certain things.
And obviously, you heard from Jesse yesterday, and it's a private conversation. But how was he? Like, was he sad? What was his mood?
I think everybody that has to leave a club when you want to do well is disappointed. It would be the same with me. It'd be the same with any manager. So it's a bit disappointing time for Jesse, and I don't think we could expect any different of that. But he was very professional, and he was very caring for all the staff, and just said his goodbyes in a really professional and caring manner.
Hi, Michael. Harry from ITV.
How you doing?
Just personally for you, going to Old Trafford, leading Leeds United against Manchester United, how much are you looking forward to that as a head coach yourself?
I think it's probably every coach's dream, right, to go and lead a team in the Premier League against Manchester United. I've been lucky enough to work hard and been lucky enough to be trusted by the board and Viktor and Angus to lead the team out on Wednesday. But I'll be up for this as much as the players and as much as the other coaching staff will be. So it's very exciting.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael.
Right, a very short press conference. Nothing really to be given away there by the standing coach Skabala. It seems to me, or one of three coaches, and it just seems to me that a lot of those questions that were a little bit awkward. He can't really talk about personal conversations. He's not really going to get into that with the press, and he kind of dodged a number of the bullets, but that part there where he spoke about nicking a point or doing something, it sounds to me like perhaps we are going to see a different Leeds United lineup, a different set of tactics, and I imagine that we're going to go there and try and stop them playing, number one, and then number two, we're going to try and stop them, or we're going to stop conceding goals. I'm not too bothered about scoring goals at the moment. There wasn't very much mentioned about the front lineup, whether he's going to talk about that or not. And he did actually deny that he was going to speak about the team lineup. So it's going to be a very, very interesting match. I'd certainly love to get up to watch it. It's a 3 a.m. kickoff where I am. Not very practical, but this is how it has been. If I do decide to try it, I will try. But I honestly think that I would rather take the 2 or 3 extra hours in bed, as I have a little one. So I'll be waking up, I think, on Thursday morning, unless, of course, something does happen. There is a surprise, and if I do decide to, of course, do a watch along, you're more than welcome to press the subscribe button and hit that all, so you can see when I'm live and online, and we can talk a little bit as we're going through. If you have any suggestions, or if you want to see anything from me from the channel, shove them in the comments, and obviously I will reply. It's an interesting one. I've made a video and I talked a bit about Jesse's LinkedIn profile, and there was a bit of chit chat about that, but it seems that it's not really him who's managing that either. It seems to be some other, I think, did I say 10 Toes or something like that? And that's a company who seems to be a social media and marketing management and all of this stuff, business stuff. And I don't know if you've seen this, folks. 17, I think his follower count has actually gone down. And I'm not sure what's in it for him. I'm not sure, of course, what's in it for anybody else. Kev Gillett, professional old age pensioner, bye. Jesse, I want to reach out to you, wish you best of luck. Of course, you know, it's not the guy's fault. He's tried his best. It's not worked out for him. He's done his best, I think, for the club. And quite a lot of sympathy here for him online and in the LinkedIn world. Quite the opposite on the Facebook supporters group website, if you've seen that. One of the Facebook supporters group page, or whatever you want to call it. What now for you, Jesse? Leeds since 91 and live in Australia. I've never been out of Asia Pacific, and all the games are between 11 p.m. 7 a.m. Waking up in the middle of the night meant football quality has to be good, or I doze off. Sadly, yours has given me a few reasons to prefer sleep. It's a bit harsh. Creating, rejuvenating and repositioning brands. Bart Radke comments, a great leader in the Premier League, particularly for a struggling football team. I wouldn't say that, but must possess business and sports related leadership skills. I don't know why they're trying to mingle business and football management of a football team into one, but anyway. I'm not sure what's going on here. If there is a bit of a shake on the camera, did I just feel a bit of a shake? The camera will tell all, but if there is a bit of a shake, it probably means there's an earthquake tremor going on or something like that. I felt a little bit of something then, but anyway, let's hope the building don't fall down and I manage to live for another day. Classy and right, MOT. Best of luck, Jesse, partner at Capital Research Projects Group at Deliot, or whatever it is. Of course, let's not forget Jesse Marsh kept our beloved team up in the Premier League last year. It was he and his team who came in and rescued us from an almost certain relegation under Bielsa. I'm pretty sure under Bielsa we would have gone down. I also think that, the stats don't lie, and certainly the goals conceded don't lie. I love Bielsa as much as an ex-Leeds fan, but I also think that we shipped far too many goals and we didn't win enough games. Alright, it's great to play all of this nice football and all the rest of it, but if you're not getting results on the board, what hope is there? Sounds a very interesting read. Microsoft coordinator, right? Oh yeah, so she's not even talking about football. She's more talking about a book. In response to the Leeds United fans, I mean, I imagine that he's not really keeping too much interest in this. I imagine that the guy's got his own stuff to sort out, and hopefully the company Ten Toes is taking care of this side of his professional, personal career, etc. So yeah, it's all there online. Corberan is the man, by the sound of it. If you've been watching my, or if you watched the, or saw, should I say, if you saw my thumbnail there, it's looking highly likely now that he is dead cert to take up the poison chalice of the Leeds United manager. Will West Brom allow Leeds to talk to him? I don't think that they will, and I wouldn't be surprised if they say no, you're not talking to him, and go away, keep away from our manager. I'm just going to talk a little bit about stats for West Brom, because under Corberan, I think am I right in thinking that this season they've won 10 matches out of 12? Is that right or is that wrong? Scores and fixtures. That's a difficult read, is that? Let's have a look. I'm going to give you some stats and just tell you a little bit about why this guy is heavily associated. He's got roots in the club. He's been at the club before, and we're going to talk a little bit about them in a moment or two. And that's more about player stats. But as a team, let's have a look. Fixture results. Here we go. Excuse me, I'll just get rid of this ad. 3rd of February. Right, okay, so we'll go back in here. We're going to go back, and if you look at the EPL league, you know, of course, that's going to tell you more or less what you need to know. And of course, their standing in the league is a lot better than Leeds at the moment. So I'm going to have a little look and talk a little bit about what's been going on with Carlos Corberan as manager, and there's not much coming up at the moment. So filtered by season 22-23 show. Let's have a look. Yeah, transfer market doesn't have any stats listed, which is a bit of a bummer. But I'm pretty sure we can have a look at his win rate, things like that. There are one or two other sites out there that'll contain that information about him, about West Bromwich Albion. Here we go. For score, okay. Okay, so it says here West Bromwich Albion points per match. I don't know how they work that out. For him, apparently he's got 24 players under him there. Latest transfer, Mark Albrighton has signed up for them. Nathaniel Chalobah, is it? And then Eric Peters has also signed. Callum Robinson, Martin Kelly and Zahora are out. of West Bromwich Albion. So we'll just have a little look. The next game is, I think, is that FA Championship round? 4 days. So the next game is against Birmingham. It's an away match, so that's a bit of a derby for them there, isn't it? I'm just having a look at Corberan's stats now, just to see what we've got, and he is doing very, very well at West Bromwich Albion. But is that enough? West Bromwich Albion sit 6th in the Championship, and it's always, this is the thing, isn't it? We've talked about this before. And do Leeds go out and get a big name manager, someone who's got the Premier League team management experience, or do we go out for somebody who's got more experience at Elland Road but not in the Premier League? And I'd prefer the former, to be honest with you. We need somebody in there who knows how to manage Premier League players, because that's what they are. And last 5 games is win, loss, win for West Bromwich Albion. Let's have a look at this. And it looks like, just a minute. Yeah, their performances are all going up. They're doing really well, and I think that was points per match, and he's achieving 2.13 points per match. So he's getting more points than he's losing, and he's, you know, they're in the playoff positions down there at West Brom. It's an interesting time for them. There is a comparison with, or a bit of a comparison, but they kind of don't collect the information as they do with the first team. I mean, this guy's done a lot in the under-23 setups and in the development squads, etc. So it's going to be interesting to see what Victor does about Carlos Corberan. Does he go for him, or does he think, well, not really for us? He probably doesn't have the experience that we need, that we're looking for. Statistics, it seems that he plays all the standings there as well. Let's have a look. Yeah. So West Brom 2.16 per game, is it? Or what's that there? Not sure about what some of these stats actually are. They're probably win percentage. The game against Birmingham, they are down as 41% to win it, by the sound of it. So with the odds are 3.60 to expected chance of winning this game is 28%, but the team actually wins 24% of matches with these odds, is what it says. So an interesting choice. If they go out and get him, I don't know. Obviously, whoever it is they get, the fans have to get behind the manager very quickly, get behind the team and start trying to push on and save our season. I think it's definitely SOS, save our season for Leeds United. Matches 29, goals scored 39, goals conceded 30, assists 26. Is that right? For average sofa score rating 6.86. That's what the sofa score is. So yeah, but he's not doing too bad. It's not title winning form, but he's there or thereabouts. They're still in touch down at West Brom with the top few teams there. So it's a bit of a gamble. Above West Brom are Watford, Luton, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United, and of course Vincent Kompany ruling the roost at Burnley. Right, okay, well, thanks so much for watching. It's another stream from me. I hope that Leeds do something positive. I hope we do something good, and I hope whoever comes in to take this job, I hope they can do the business, save our season. If you like the content, you can always hit the subscribe button, stick a thumb up. Always helps me, helps the channel grow. Then I can give back as soon as I can start turning something from it. Have a great day. All the very best to you, and let's see what happens at Elland Road tomorrow. The big game. Bye bye.